Hey everyone, welcome to Ink Scribes, the comics podcast where we discuss the art and craft of comics. I'm Colin Singh, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Eric Zawadzki and Taylor Stauft. Before we get into today's episode, we have a very special guest joining us today. He's another complete comics creator. He's a writer, an artist, a color artist, a letterer, and his most recent work, Monkey Meat from Image Comics, and the excellent The Boy Wonder from DC's Black Label line. You guys got to pick this one up for sure.
Oh, yeah.
He's here today to discuss with us, or should I say, like sit in awe with us as we look at the work of another great comics modern master. I'd like to welcome to the show Mr. Juni Ba. Juni, thanks for coming, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Today we're going to be taking a look at the career of Darwyn Cooke. This is going to be a look at we'd probably put him on the map more than anything. His work on Catwoman, Selena's Big Score. This cemented him as an all-timer, somebody that we are all a huge fan of. Juni, how are you feeling about Darwyn Cooke?
Hate him.
All right, this is going to be our highest rated episode ever.
He's probably like his big massive influence. Like Boy Wonder is 90% me looking at Darwyn Cooke and trying stuff out that he's done and that I wanted to understand the trick of, I guess.
Okay.
Like the second issue I was looking at New Frontier, and I was like those rows of panels. Like I want to try that out, see if like how that works. Plus, it was really useful because there's a very big like cinematic feel to it, and a big influence on issue 2 of Boy Wonder was Taxi Driver. So
interesting.
Yeah, and all that stuff. But yeah, like even on other things, like there's just I don't know. He's the quintessential superhero storyteller to me.
Okay.
When people say like the cliche thing is people saying you want to get into superhero comics, you need to read Watchmen first. I'm like, nah, you don't start with Watchmen. You start with
I've heard that.
Oh, interesting.
Like I always say, you start with New Frontier and then you can read other things because it's sort of like it's not just because of the introduction of characters over time. It's also the spirit of superhero comics is in that series. It's insane how well he does it.
Right. Yeah, it's like a distillation of them.
Exactly. All of them are again big influence on Boy Wonder. The whole thing of you take all the traits of those characters from other multiple iterations and you try to distill into one core idea that fits the story you want to tell. New Frontier. The way that he uses Green Lantern in that story is insane to me because it's so simple but so effective. Because like you essentially observe the evolution of the 20th century from America's perspective through the comics that were coming out at the time. So he tries to line up the arrival of characters with the time that they were first published. And they all are a sort of a reflection of the times as well. And
Yeah.
like this idealistic guy who went to war but didn't want to kill anybody, and then he actually dies on the last day. And the first time he flies happens at the very end of the series, and it's one of the most joyous depictions of superhero flying I've ever seen. So, like when you're a kid, you want to be Spider-Man because it looks cool, and
Absolutely.
it's sort of that like the book gives you that as well as all the idealism of like Jack Kirby would say, or like the best version of us, like that the superheroes are the people we wish we were, and that comic encapsulates that as well in very different forms depending on which superhero you're looking at. So anyway.
Right on. So if any of you out there are watching this and don't read comics, start with New Frontier and then move directly to Boy Wonder.
Yeah, I do see a bit of a crossover in your work with Darwyn Cooke's. Specifically, I think that both of your works feel both retro and modern simultaneously.
That
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I should also, I just also really want to plug. I really want to plug your recent creator-owned book, because the trade for the new one comes out, I think, around Halloween, right?
Yeah, it's like late October, I think.
Yeah, so yeah, Monkey Meat is basically a creator-owned anthology series. They're just incredibly fun short stories, but they'll these stories will have you feeling all the feels. Some of them, they come off like dark and serious, some fun and whimsical, and some are deeply moving. And I absolutely love the paper you used in this comic.
Mm.
Yes.
I y- I was so happy reading this stuff because of the paper, and I'm going to steal this for an issue of a sort of crisis events. As soon as I saw this like newsprint paper and just how beautiful it is,
I love having some influence on that comic. Like I've had like Dennis has sent me a few issues before it started coming out, and I
Oh
was
yeah.
just like gushing to my girlfriend of like what you made is insane. Uh, like the Ace is like, if it doesn't win the Eisner for best apology, I'm gonna be upset, honestly.
Right?
One
Right?
hundred percent. 100%.
oh, who
Get up
knows?
and walk out if it doesn't.
I don't want to think about stuff like that because
But we'll do it for you.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So remember, trade paperback of Ace Assorted Crisis Events coming out in September, and for Monkey Meat the summer batch is coming out November 11th. So make sure to pick them up.
Yeah, they're
Remember,
kind of sister books, I think, right?
Yeah, you'll finish
The-
one, be emotionally devastated, and then you can move on to the next.
and be more emotionally devastated.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so yeah, we're primarily talking about Selena's Big Score today, but I just wanted to give a bit of an overview of how Darwyn Cooke started out. So yeah, basically, I'll try to go over this as quickly as possible. But out of high school, he worked in construction and then spent a year in college before he was kicked out for quote bad grades and bad habits.
They were willing to overlook one, but
Yeah, and that's when he decided to get serious about comics. So he got a job in a bar as a waiter and worked on his portfolio. Around that time, he was like 20 years old, and he was living in Toronto. And
right on.
DC was coming out with something called the Talent Showcase, and it was a book specifically for new talent. So he drove from Toronto to New York with his portfolio. He showed it to DC, and they bought it right away.
Wow.
And it ended up in the very last issue of this DC Talent Showcase. So I just want to show that off. So he's 20 years old. This is 1985, and um, they print his samples, which is somewhere here. Where is it? It's a short story with basically no dialogue at all. I think he just wanted to show off the storytelling. And I should also say, let me put this aside for now. It was also printed in this DC graphic ink. And they didn't print his first page. The editor actually redrew that first page.
What? Ugh.
Who's
Who's the editor?
Who was the editor? The editor is Sal Amendola. So here we have Darwyn Cooke's, and then the redrawn one, which I kind of like the writing here. This one's a little cooler, but he kind of
That does
stole
make
the
a lot more
car. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, he did. Sal, if you're still around and watching this, and I know you are, contact us. Let us know what's going on.
Have you seen this before, Juni?
No. Well, actually, maybe I have. Because like I looked into his, I was going to say his backstory a little bit, but I don't think I had actually seen the pages before.
Yeah, it doesn't look very Darwyn Cooke. I think he said he was very influenced by Steranko. Specifically, he mentions in the beginning here that, or at least he says that that opening page was very influenced by Jim Steranko's Red Tide, which I'm a big Jim Steranko fan, but I'm not familiar with Red Tide, so I'll have to look
Yeah.
into that. But yeah, it's just interesting seeing this. Like he wasn't a huge superhero guy. Like
Mm.
I think the cool stuff in the late 60s and 70s when he was reading comics was the Marvel stuff, but he loved like DC's like westerns and crime stories and yeah, a lot of the horror stories. And yeah, so he got this printed, and then his next gig was 15 years later.
What was he doing in that time? Did he like
So
move to? Go ahead. Yeah.
well, he went back to Toronto, and he said it was a different time back then. You kind of had to be living in New York, and probably walking into the offices on a regular basis looking for work, and it just his career never took off. So he eventually moved into graphic design, and yeah, he did graphic design for like a moderately sized like a music magazine in Canada, and then he eventually worked his way up, and he was like the lead graphic designer uh, on a Canadian magazine with the highest circulation in all of Canada. So he reached like the peak basically. But I think he clashed with them a lot, and then quit, and then formed his own company, and then so he was doing graphic design, and then he slowly integrated animation into his own company, and that's where his passion was in storytelling. And from there, he saw an ad in the 90s in the Comics Journal for working at Warner Animation on the Batman and Superman, the Paul Dini shows. And he realized that's where his passion was, and he ended up he applied to the ad, and 2 weeks later he was working for Warner Brothers.
Right on.
And then there's a long story about him. He pitched Batman Ego at San Diego Comic-Con in the early 90s, and that went nowhere. But what happened was Mark Chiarello ended up becoming the DC art director, and he was cleaning up the office, and he found that old Batman Ego pitch. And it like 4 years had gone by, and he contacted Darwyn Cooke and asked, "Do you want to do this?" And Darwyn Cooke finished up his animation stuff, and then did Batman Ego, and it was comics from then on.
Wow. Cool. What a road. That gives me hope.
Yeah, because he was like he was pushing 40 when he did Batman Ego.
Just like me. Dang.
I tend to think that that's probably part of what worked for him. I think, like, I can't remember which interview it was where he said that in the end that was a good thing that he got into it so late, because it gives you a lot more life experience and like things to put into the work essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'm going to take that and run with it. Yeah.
he had conversations with Mark Chiarello about that wasted like 15 years, and Chiarello basically said, "No, you would have burnt out being like a page a day kind of guy, and you would have burnt out, and then like all that work experience was great because he brought all his graphic design skills into comics." And I mean, we'll see when we look at these comics more in depth that he is just such an impressive skill with design. Just design overall, page design, cover design. So what did you guys think of Selina's Big Score?
I thought it was great. It's like a what's the term? Like a not airport thriller, but like a dime store thriller.
Mm.
It's like Elmore Leonard, one of those crime novels, right?
Yeah.
The One Last Job type of story, right?
Exactly.
It's a beautiful hardcover. I first so I read it when it first came out. 20 years ago. Yeah, the design for this book is beautiful for sure.
So he worked on like 4 issues of Catwoman, written by Ed Brubaker, and then I guess he was like really far ahead, and then he decided. I guess he pitched this as a graphic novel, as sort of a prelude to the Catwoman.
Yeah, prelude. Yeah, you're right.
And I just picked this up recently, and I have to say, like Darwyn Cooke stuff reads really well in these this compact edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely because he knows what to pick in terms of detail. He does away with a lot, and I think it works when it's shrunk down or even when it's blown up. Like the Absolute edition of New Frontier looks beautiful, and then shrunk down like this story looks great too.
Yeah, and it's on. So this is on like matte paper, whereas here we have this on glossy,
Mm.
which I kind of like both actually. The coloring works in glossy and matte,
A
and
running theme on this show. Yes, we can't decide which is better.
I mean I can't say no to the oversized work line work though, because I just want to like study it.
Yep.
Juni, when did you first read this? Is this a new read for you, or was it like living in
I
your head?
actually have like two different types of. I have an anthology with Batman Ego, which is still on the shelf, and I
Nice.
reread it in this thing.
Hell yeah.
Um, so I already had it. I already read it a few times before, and I don't remember when it was. Time has become very fuzzy. Probably 5 or 6 years ago, I think.
Okay.
Uh, and it's like I usually tend to come back to this one. I think what I like the most about the way that Cook works is that he's all about economy of lines, and I have this similar obsession of like how do I simplify things to the extreme. So it's always useful to sort of like come back to him and sort of like look at how like he draws even on this image like he draws buildings. There's like three lines and that's a building. When you're scared of not being able to convey enough detail, like he's a good reminder of no, you don't actually need to. You can simplify things a lot. And the other thing is he has some of the clearest storytelling I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you can look at a Darwin Cook page and have is this thing that Jack Kirby said about like knowing what to draw, and he has a very cinematic skill in the way that he does it. Like these days, when I want to try and frame, especially discussions, he likes like even on those 2 pages you can see it. Like he likes to do like close-ups, and then every so often he pulls back. His action is usually very clear, and he reads like the type of guy who watched a lot of old movies, especially crime movies, and he uses a lot of tricks from those and puts them in his work. So like, if I had like a Mount Rushmore of extremely clear, obviously skilled storytellers, it would be him, probably Akira Toriyama and Franquin. As like, if you want to know how to build a page in a very clear way to make sure that you understand everything, that your reader is going to understand everything, you don't need to go flashy or complicated. And yeah, like so, like I said, like I don't tend to read superhero comics all that much. I find them too detailed for my taste, and the storytelling isn't as um,
Yeah,
focused. Maybe.
sometimes there's a priority of like the big splashy image over like the clear,
Yeah,
concise storytelling. I
yeah,
do feel like super detailed art. I kind of want to slowly.
mm,
When I'm reading the comic and I want to slow down and just take in the art. But with Darwyn Cooke, the flow of the story just like takes over. I just
yeah,
like go through the story, which is kind of what you want out of a comic.
yeah. And I find it so pretty. Like the stuff that he draws is insane to me. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's a part of my brain that it satisfies. It's the obsession with simplifying things, I guess.
I have a quote from him about his economy of line. So, like he grew up in reading comics in the '70s, and uh, if you were growing up reading comics in the '70s, you were obsessed with Neil Adams, and he was. So, which is Neil Adams is like the polar opposite of him, right? Just like super detailed and just like so much line information on the page. But this quote from Darwyn Cooke, he said, "Seeing Eisner's overall vision and the way it all coalesced together in his stories, that's when I realized the importance of this type of work and how a simple drawing can carry so much more emotional impact over something that's been painfully realized through detail. the angle you choose to show a person's reaction has as much to do with as how carefully you draw that reaction on the page.
Yeah.
I feel personally attacked. But I'm trying to get better at it.
Yeah, I mean it's a skill set to know when to strip away.
Yeah.
All
And it
the
depends on
lines.
the project
Yeah.
as well.
Actually, if you go to page 1, I think it's page 1, Eric,
Yeah.
the panel with the glove. There's no, like, you have to have a grasp of anatomy and all this kind of stuff to. It's possible when you're drawing in a realistic style that, like, it'll be jarring or at least feel wrong in your brain when you're looking at it. But his style is so graphic and like sparse that he just gives you just the information you need to immediately know what it is and then move to the next panel. And the panel is so small too that it's like a snippet. It's like a microsecond that you spend on it, but it just propels you forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, what I particularly like about the storytelling of this page is that, it's just a series of like random images that kind of lack context, and then you turn the page, and then bam. This page just feels more powerful because of the like. In some ways, this can be a little frustrating by design. There's just like no context to what's going on, and that just hits you, and it's just such a cool way to open up a story.
I find it works precisely because of the lack of context. Like it reminded me of, usually when I explain to people how to open a story, I say, look at Casino Royale, because it's an action movie. It starts with an action scene. Like the first really long scene is just,
Yeah.
and it's
Is
not
that
just
parkour scene?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's because it's
Yeah.
not just let's have him do action. It's also what type of action, and showcasing the new version of Bond that you're going to be dealing with from now on. Because everyone knew the more sleek versions, especially Pierce Brosnan just before. Like I grew up on Pierce Brosnan, so my version of Bond was like sort of clean Britishman, and then they open Casino Royale with like this brutish guy. The best moment is that at one point the guy who does parkour jumps over a wall, and then Bond comes after him and just smashes through
Yeah,
the
that's right.
and it's
It's
all
like
like,
it's elegance versus inelegance, right?
exactly, like it's all about introducing your character through action, and that's exactly what he does here. Like he makes it look cool. He gives you a hero. He gives you a money shot on page 2 of like just her flying with the bullets, missing her, and so the first page is giving you hints of like people think I'm dead, and I think that the other element is I need money, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
like
it shows her being like this is a crime story. She is a thief right out the
exactly,
gate.
like, it gives you like it works on a prime level, basically. Like instead of explaining things to you, they make you feel what this is about. The action, the thievery, the crime vibe of like there's this exotic vibe of the thief on the roofs of Morocco or wherever it is. Like it's encapsulating a lot of the feel of what's coming next without giving you too much information, which I found really effective. Like it's hard to do this because the
Yeah.
natural instinct as a storyteller is to want to explain a lot really, really
Yeah,
quickly.
definitely.
And he's like, you don't need to have too much information. I can give you the feel of it instead of the intellectual part. I guess I can keep the intellectual part for later.
Yeah, it's like what I was saying earlier, where the story just washes over you. You just like take it in. What I love about here is like we can see his skills as an animator. So we mentioned earlier that he had this whole life before he dove back into comics, and like you can see his animation skill set at play all throughout this. Like
Yeah.
he's thinking about the environment and how the environment can be used. And he's thinking about how these like the physics of these objects, and that is an animator thing to like look around your set and like figure out how to utilize it. And it's like, how is she going to escape? She disappears, and like through this, and she looks very athletic here as well.
Yeah.
So just great characterization, great movement, just great intro.
Could you actually go back one page? Because that made me think of what he's doing in several panels that are like right after each other. The cup is falling, and then snap to the hand has caught it, or her hand is loose, and then snap to she's grabbed the rope or unhooking herself. It's just such a quick turn in, and doesn't take up a lot of space for him either. It's like a quick cut to explain what's going to be happening.
Yeah, and the quick moments are the small panels, right? When she's kind of like grabbing something that's supposed to be quick, those are small panels. But when she's like hovering in the air, they kind of like slow. The storytelling slows down slightly, and then we get two quick movements again, and then it slows down a little bit again. And this is like you can't control how fast somebody's going to read a comic, but you can do little things to slow them down or speed them up. And playing with the arrangements of the panels, playing with the size of the panels, that's how you do that. It's just expert level. Like this is he had probably only drawn like what, like a couple, maybe 100 pages at this point.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't Ego about 100 pages before this? 96?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he did a bunch of short stories, and then 4 issues of Catwoman, and then this. So yeah, maybe a little more than that.
I always thought he did this before Catwoman. His Brubaker.
I did too, until I did research like yesterday and went, oh wait, what?
Yeah.
Because it is kind of I think the story was that he, they paired him up with Ed Brubaker to do Catwoman, and he said he'll only do like a short arc. So, and then the pages came in, and they started getting really excited about this new vision, because like the Darwyn Cooke's Catwoman is kind of a response to the 90s like Jim Balent Catwoman.
Yeah.
Where it was like over sexualized.
No boob socks on that costume.
Yeah, and yeah, so I think DC got really excited when those pages came in, and then I think they were really far ahead, and so they decided after the Jim Balent Catwoman ended, they took like 4 months where there was no Catwoman comic, and they had like in Detective Comics, they had these backups, these Slam Bradley backups, as a way of introducing slowly introducing Catwoman, because the whole thing was that Catwoman had died at the end of the 90s Catwoman series, and so Slam Bradley is like looking into it. And so that went on for like 4 months. And then I don't fully know, but like somewhere in there, Darwyn Cooke created a prelude to that Catwoman story where she's presumed dead. And I think he talks at the end here about like, so he created an iconic new costume, right? But because this is a prelude and that costume was introduced in the Ed Brubaker Catwoman, he couldn't draw his iconic Catwoman outfit in this prelude. So he mentions here that because he couldn't do that, he thought like, well, let's get the best illustrators in the business to draw that iconic outfit in the back. So we got like Mike Mignola and just like Kevin Nolan and Adam Hughes and Jaime Hernandez and Jim Steranko.
Wow.
Kind of off topic, but do you know, Eric, anything about the genesis of Mike Allred inking him on those first 4 issues? Because I do notice like it's very slick in that, and here it's not that it's rough, but it's very more blotted, you could say, a lot quicker.
Yeah, like he's using a thick brush, it seems like.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I think they were friends, and
because Mike Allred ain't cheap either. Like these guys, once you reach a level, it's like the page rate goes sky high. So it was
Is that true? Professional comic book artists on this show?
The direction doesn't. What's it called again? Sorry, that joke actually doesn't. It only works in French. That's unfair. I don't know. In 10 years. Although, like the trick I was given, I think it was Dennis actually who gave it to me. So like every new project, you ask for more. So that's what I've been doing.
Right on.
Until they stop.
Yeah.
And that's been successful for you.
Yeah. I haven't done it on like small things. It's more like consequential stuff. Like Boy Wonder, I was every one of them is sort of like a stepstone of like we did this one. It sort of worked out pretty good. And give me more money.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw that this was the best reviewed comic of last year, according to like the Comic League app. So throw that around and you can get a little bit more money. Okay, so yeah, what I like here is that he does this cool thing where like we're in multiple cities because this is supposed to be like this is a heist. Yeah, it's a heist story, and it's a globe-trotting heist story. And so every time he introduces a new city, he has this format where we see these like snippets of that city to give the feel of that city. And it's very effective. And I like this like basic history of Catwoman, it looks like.
Yeah,
I like that panel a lot.
And page 11. So I love this. I love how it's completely silent now. Like this is like what, like an 80-page graphic novel. So he's got the real estate to do this. But a lot of comics are just like 20 pages, and you don't have time to create a lot of silence here. But it's just very well done. And I just get like this is how a cartoonist would do this, right? Slowly introduce us into the setting. And I love this, like him saying Selena, and it's like lower caps. And this is like the first time we get a close-up of her face, basically.
Oh yeah.
And even then, it's still covered with the glasses and the hood, or the scarf, rather.
Yeah. It just gives like old school movie star, like movie starlet vibes, right?
Isn't she based on Audrey Hepburn, or is that like a myth? And
I think Adam Hughes based his covers, his Catwoman covers, off Audrey Hepburn.
Okay, so that's.
I don't know what Darwyn Cooke did though, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like he's just, I mean, the whole this whole thing has a 1960s vibe about it, right? 1960s, 70s.
Yeah. Well, even the narration,
which Hepburn is she
really
associated with the 60s?
Yeah.
Is that more of a 50s thing?
She's 50s and 60s. Her last major role is 69. I think it's Breakfast at Tiffany's, and she doesn't really do much after that.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, though, the narration as well, like Cooke, and I guess probably in talking with Brubaker too, he's got an extremely good grasp on Selena. Like the narration's got this survival mentality. It's very brief and it's very direct. And I think, like she's always got a plan B, even in thinking in her brain.
She's very resourceful, like a street smart.
Resourceful, resilient. Yeah. All that stuff. It's the best version of the character. It's my most favorite version of the character for sure.
Yeah.
So I love this right here. This is like your classic superhero jumping through rooftops. And we get a splash page here. Now, I think 90, maybe 99% of artists would make this the splash page and then make that the smaller panel. But like this is Darwyn Cooke we're talking about, so he's thinking a little bit differently. Would you say this is like a Selena Kyle story more than it's a Catwoman story?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Catwoman.
Capes in this whatsoever,
And so that's why, I mean, that would be the argument for this, right? I mean, it's kind of a statement, do you think? Like,
yeah, because this is, I was thinking about this as reading it. If you're going to set a story in Gotham, Batman, even if he's not in it, he kind of haunts the whole story just by default. And this might be the least Batman Gotham set story I've read. Like, sure, he shows up and he is mentioned, but there's not even the hint that like Batman is aware of what's going on and he's letting this happen or anything like that. I expected him to show up and be like, Selena, I thought you were dead. Baby, come back. Or something like that. Nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's not about Catwoman. It's about Selena Kyle.
I'm surprised about this whole thing. Like that, he got to do a Selena Kyle graphic novel, because I think like maybe 5 years, around 5 years prior to this, there was that Alan Grant, Frank Quitely Batman story, The Scottish Connection, and they tried to make it a Bruce Wayne story, and they were just flat out told no, like put Bruce Wayne in that Batman costume, and then it became a Batman graphic novel. But yeah, there's pushback to stuff like that. You can't just like do a Bruce Wayne graphic novel or a Selena Kyle graphic novel. It's they're gonna say no, put them in the costume. So I don't know how we got away with this.
She's not A tier, right? It's the reason Smallville had to settle for Green Arrow, and they wanted Batman. They're like, Batman is in movies and only movies. You're not getting him. You can have Green Arrow though. I'm certain it's like, yeah, sure, Selena, do whatever you want. Who cares?
There's more leeway, I think, when it comes to actors, especially her, because I'm guessing if she was supposed to be dead, she wasn't used anywhere else.
Good point. Yeah,
probably wasn't busy, basically. So like, if you want to have like a quick thing where it wasn't even the main book, right? Like it was sort of a spin-off of the new series, is what I understand.
There's an OGN.
Yeah. So there's a lot more freedom there with what you can do. Now, if he had pitched the new main ongoing series with Catwoman, except she doesn't do Catwoman things ever, and she never puts on the suit, then yeah, they probably would have said no. But for a quick thing on the side, it was probably fine.
It really stands alone too. Like, this, like I can give this to anyone, somebody who doesn't read comics, and it would, it would resonate with them for sure.
This is what does Brubaker call them? Dad comics. You can hand this to your dad who doesn't read comics, and he'll still get it.
Yeah.
Plus, like, it's very dad in the way that, like, I mean, a lot of what Cooke and Brubaker made is very dad, because like it's a lot of crime stuff, a lot of hard-boiled.
Tough guys.
Yeah, basically, like all the characters you have in here are archetypes of a type of crime movie stereotype, even that he doesn't even need to spend that much time introducing either of those characters, because every one of them is a type that and once they've fulfilled their position in the story, he dispatches them very quickly. Like, he's very economical in that way.
It's funny you bring that up, as we are introduced to Stark, because Cooke will then go on later. After this, we'll go on to do the Parker adaptations by Richard Stark, alias of Donald Westlake, the king of cranking books out for dads.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Stark is Parker, basically. Like,
I was about to say that. Like, this is clearly Parker, right?
Yeah, it's him warming up, right?
Definitely.
And it pays off. I read earlier today that Westlake, there have been a bunch of Parker stories that were adapted to movies, and he didn't let the Parker name actually be used. They have to rename him, like Palmer and stuff. And but when Darwyn Cooke did the adaptation in consultation with him, he was like, you know what, you can call him Parker. This is close enough. This is good enough. This is what I want.
Wait, are you saying that like Darwyn Cooke potentially gave this to them as an
No. Just that he understands this kind of storytelling, this hard-boiled, grizzled anti-hero storytelling so well that I think this is him warming up, and then it's fully executed in the Parker adaptations.
I mean, this kind of feels like his pitch for the Parker books.
Absolutely,
Like he could have handed this to Donald Westlake's estate, to whoever, like his family, to basically say, like, look, I get the character, because like this is.
I think he handed it to Westlake himself, because he died midway through the production of that of those Parker books.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
so that's good. He got to see it before he died.
Yeah,
that's very cool. Because those are so good.
Yeah. There's a couple different formats that Cooke's Parker books have been released in. I do prefer like the smaller size compared to, I think they're called Martini editions instead of the larger size.
They're huge, and they're very hard to figure out how to put on your shelf.
Oh man, don't get me started on that.
I have two of them, and they're the goddamn. I had to like put them on the how do you even say this? Lay them down basically because it don't fit.
Horizontal.
Yeah. How did I not find that word?
English is a bastard language. Even we don't speak it that good.
Like it's even worse. We have an academy for French. That's how tricky and pretentious the language is.
Yeah.
Old people telling you how you're supposed to speak the language, and they have meetings in the big office and everything. Anyway,
Well, we're Canadian, so we have the bastardized French.
Cereal box French.
So this sequence right here, I tried finding original art for Selena's Big Score. I could only find 2 pieces, but I just want to show you guys. Valerie D'Orazio was the assistant editor at the time, and Darwyn Cooke gave her the original art for this. I guess these are half pages.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Now, if you flip through this, every page can easily be divided in half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I couldn't have clocked that if you paid me. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize until I saw
I have
the
faith
original
you
art.
would figure it out too.
oh my god, that explains a lot. It's like I was always bothered by how thick the line work is. Of like, how does he do it at such a size? Because I was imagining that it was like 11 by 17. But if that's a half a page and that's how he works, I'm curious what the actual size is, because maybe it's bigger and it would explain
looks like-
no, it says here. Oh, it says the paper is 14 inches by 8.5, but the art is 9 inches by 7. So,
Huh. I was expecting he's essentially working on 17 by 22.
Yeah.
yeah, I wonder why he did that.
Probably get that thick ass line.
Yeah. There's a I think he's French artist called Olivier Schwartz, and he does that a lot. Like looking at his original pages, what I found online anyway, there's he uses A3. I don't know if that's a size that you guys have.
Not really.
But basically, imagine that instead of using one 11 by 17 for a full page, he would use 2. Each of them would be half a page, and that allows him a lot more space for his panels, like a lot more details and stuff, while staying very cartoony.
Wow.
Okay.
I also just love this. It's again the snap that he does of like she takes a swing and he grabs her.
Yeah. Yeah, which because of the lack of line work, it like reads really quick.
Mm-hmm.
I love the hand lettering, which is kind of a lost art. It just looks so beautiful on here.
Yeah.
Which I do want to show that like this lettering for me stands out really well here. It just integrates with the art so well, and then his Catwoman stuff not so much. Like it doesn't look as nice when it's shrunk down, and it looks a little more mechanical. In fact, I wonder if that is digital lettering, but it might not be. But yeah, this was the transition period when the industry was sort of like half the industry was still doing hand lettering, and but you know there was still then there was digital kind of like seeping in, and now it's all digital. Like I can't. Can you guys think of any like modern comic that has hand lettering? I guess like Michel Fiffe stuff.
Yeah.
Jeff Smith.
Sean
Jeff
Knotts
Smith
is listed as the letterer for Catwoman Volume 3, Number 1, 2002. So I have to assume he's probably working digital.
Yeah, and I should say the lettering. Sorry, who's the letterer that I'm complimenting here?
Hey, all right, another cat on the show.
Yeah, I have
Yours
to
has
like
hair though. That's weird.
Finally, a regular cat.
say hi.
Weird how there's no letterer credited, but
Maybe
Darwyn
it's
Cooke
him.
didn't letter this, did he?
Maybe.
Didn't he?
Taylor, look. Quick.
I thought I saw. Okay, here we go. Um,
Yeah, Trail of the Catwoman. That's the Brubaker stuff?
yeah.
Sean Cannot.
Okay, but who did Selena's big score?
Oh, Selena's Big Score.
Maybe he did it.
It looks like he did, right?
Because I mean,
Looks very integrated.
if he worked in
Letter of Darwyn Cooke. Yeah.
Oh, geez, he did. Why did I think it was
Nice.
somebody else? Yeah, well, that's why it looked so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and talking earlier about like the 60s aesthetic, like you can see right here, like 60s furniture, that's a very 60s dress, very 60s 70s haircut.
Yes, the perfectly spherical afro. It's great.
Yeah, I think what separates the good artists from the great is like a fully realized unique vision. And like you look at this and Cook has like a complete vision of this comic, from like the characters, the aesthetic, the storytelling approach. And he changes the storytelling approach from comic to comic, as we established earlier. Like in New Frontier, he did like three tiers of like wide panels, right?
Yep.
And so yeah, I think Darwyn Cooke's a visionary. Basically, he's got a full vision on every project.
Yeah, it's just the small little panels that he does, because they're so quick. It has that feel of like tiptoeing through the story, like blink, 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 blink. You know, like a cat burglar. It's just so like, I'm gonna go quick. I'm gonna be silent. I'm gonna be fast.
It's very animation as well. Like you start on the page to the right, you start on the window, and then you pull back.
Yeah,
it's like an animation storyboard, and he does that a lot.
It is, yeah.
Actually, yeah, the entire page is a pullback. It's very cool, and it kind of starts with the circular hair, and then ends with this circular moon, which I don't know if that was intentional. Actually, this reminds me, looking at these ice cubes, I have another quote from Darwyn Cooke that I wanted to. So he discovered Alex Toth in the 70s. And,
check out our Alex Toth episode.
So as I said earlier, he was into Neil Adams, and so when he saw this comic, you can see these like ice cubes right here. So here's the quote. He said, "I remember looking at it going, this is ridiculous. The ice cubes are just squares with big fat lines around them. I thought Toast's art looked ridiculous, but I kept coming back to it. I couldn't understand why I was compelled to continue to look at this work, despite the fact that I thought it was simple and childish. But over time, I began to understand. With Jack Kirby, it was the same thing." So this comic was a huge inspiration for him.
That does feel like the cycle a lot of artists go through, of like, this looks like a child drew it, and then you see the elegance of it later on.
Yeah, definitely. It's easy to see it from a surface level, but like there's so much more depth and so much more craft going on under the surface with all his stuff.
I don't recall, but there aren't any double splash pages in here, right? He doesn't use up all the real estate.
Well, there's no double splash pages, but he does do the double pages for the big climax, which I think is by design, because that climax like feels like a climax.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, I did want to comment on the line work here. He's just splashing. He's just like splashing down brushwork. Like these buildings, there's no ruler being used. There's no tool to make things like perfect. Like look at these the lines in the building. He's just like splashing it down. Juni, is that how when you're drawing like buildings, how often do you bust out the ruler during the inking process?
See, okay. I don't, except when I'm insecure about managing to make it look the way I do, I guess. So the way I do it is that I build the pages on my tablet. That's where the lines tend to be straight.
Yeah.
But I understood very early on that I don't think my art looks very good if I try to make it look too clean.
Mm.
It can
Um,
look very mechanical,
yeah,
very
yeah,
stiff if you
exactly.
use a ruler too much.
Yeah. So I do all the straight lines I do on my tablet, and then I ink freehand basically as much as I can. Sometimes I will use a ruler for select types of lines. Like the first that comes to mind is say you have the ocean, like the line of the ocean. I try to do that one as a very straight line, thin as well. But most of the time, I try to avoid using rulers because of that whole stiffness that I mentioned.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like as long as you have that base, like as long as you're like the underdrawing is like perfect, then you can go over top and add that imperfection, and it keeps the energy
Yeah,
and prevents it from looking mechanical and stiff,
Mhm.
which isn't for everyone. Like there are plenty of artists that use like rulers
yeah.
to design their backgrounds and stuff, and some artists can somehow retain the energy. I just found in my work it stiffens up. So, and I
Mhm.
guess you've realized the same thing about your work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Plus, there's this whole thing again of you don't need to, um, just like you don't need detail, you don't need things to look as straight looking as they are in real life.
Yeah,
Most,
especially because these are like man-made structures, right? Like
yeah,
a lot of this stuff is supposed to be organic and like falling apart, like in a constant state of decay, I guess. Like,
yeah. Like there's a wear and tear and even just the character of it. I think the guy who made me less self-conscious about it is Mignola, because he has like this whole thing that he said multiple times about how he doesn't like drawing, or at least he didn't like drawing backgrounds, and that he realized like I can just draw rundown buildings all the time. And I was like, yeah, actually that makes sense. So just draw things with the same type of character as you would draw a character. Actually,
Mm.
Mhm.
Makes it feel a piece of like the characters in the setting
yeah,
as of a piece of each other. Yeah.
man, I love this transition here from flashback to modern day, where you get
Yeah.
like he's very sympathetic here, but he's more pragmatic, or I don't know,
Oh,
darker
yeah.
here. But it just sort of like hits you as we're like coming back into present day. Just
like
so well done.
Yeah.
like like just the color
There's,
choices, because the last panel is the only one that isn't red. Like
Mm-hmm.
looking at the spread, you can see the change. It's a last note of a change at the very end of the spread. Mm.
I
Oh
love.
man, and Matt Hollingsworth colors, like just so good. And I think 2002 when this came out was like the height of overproduced colors. Because I think like affordable home computers were good enough to handle like working on high resolution files, and so you would get around this time a lot of these coloring houses whose entire thing was that they add so many effects on the page. We can add lens flares, a wide assortment of detailed textures, like so much rendering.
Yeah,
And it was too much in my opinion. So it's like it's so nice to see like the brilliant Matt Hollingsworth like in 2002, like with this quality limited color palette. Uh, and I guess it's a lot easier when the line work is this good.
yeah,
That
exactly.
one cheek panel at the end, I just wanted to quickly comment. I love how Cook, like, he's incredibly vulnerable in the first panel. In the second panel, you see that he's on guard, but he maintains a semblance of his vulnerability in his eyebrow, in his brow. So, like, the top half of both panels are still kind of vulnerable, but the eyes are what's changed. So he goes from like very in the first panel, obviously vulnerable. The second panel, he's like switched on, like he's ready to attack in a way, corner an animal kind of style, right?
Yeah,
It's
great
good.
characterization.
It's a good observation. Yeah.
Yeah, he's so good at doing these tough guy characters.
Yeah. Well, he himself was a tough guy. I really would have wanted to have met him because I like tough guys. I like talking to them, and yeah, like I think I see Stark. I see him in Stark too, reading this a little
Yeah,
bit.
there's one scene that like I think about when I think of this, like like this right here, where this guy's sort of like fucking with him, and so he just like lifts the chair just, I don't know, display his tough guy quality, which I don't know, it just seems so real. I can picture like Darwyn Cooke having done that or experienced that in some way, or just like, or just knowing a lot of characters like this in real life.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because it says book 2 from Stark's point of view. So clearly he, again, like he really liked those Parker novels, and this entire chapter he gets to write from Parker's point of view, or I mean Stark's point of view, but basically it's Parker. There's a scene here, page 32, where like Selena asks for his email address, and he's like, "What email address?" Like
Yeah.
he's a man right out of the 60s. Like this is old man Parker in modern day, and I think Parker from the graphic novels was perpetually 40. I think.
Yeah. And it's like always set in the 60s, or timelessly set in the 60s, something like that.
So this is interesting, where like, this is several decades later, and he's a little bit older, but still the same man. Like even right here, she kind of like jokes about like, from back when you were in your 50s. That's like meant as a snarky jab, but I think Parker was supposed to be around 40 years old throughout the 60s, and yeah, I mean he's like perpetually this grizzled old man.
Yeah.
And how about this? This is this dice page, like just the acting of cool. Like, part of the problem, one of the things with film is you can get the charisma of an actor, which is incredibly difficult in comics. But I don't know, Cook's able to capture cool like nobody else, right?
Especially this character that rides that line a lot.
Well, and this is a heist story, right? And so like every crew needs the loose cannon, and I guess that's what this guy is.
Yeah.
Hot shot.
Yeah, and look at the power from this panel to that panel. Just like, yeah, I don't know. All I could say is just such power, such force with that reveal.
Actually, that's another 2-panel transition. I know it's from a smaller one to a wider one, but he stays on the right side of that panel in both panels, right? So that action actually works, because you move, basically the eye moves down, and then you see that he's got the gun pointed at Stark, right? And then it goes down again.
In this section, yeah,
exactly.
That's what I was going to say. That both of them are staying on the same side of the whole page. That's a trick that I use a lot. Like it helps instinctively the reader figure out. Yeah, like because like in the same system, instinctively your brain has figured out where they are in space, and as long as you don't move your camera too much, if you keep them on the same right and left, like this character is on the right, this character is on the left, and you keep them that way regardless of the shots that you use, the reader's brain has less work to do. Basically, it's easier to follow the space of the situation that way,
and it moves quicker too.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I love comics. Just I don't know if you guys know,
they're great.
Yeah.
Man, I love how like he's like, he didn't color this, but like he clearly wanted this to be its own section, so he just put like dots. Like he didn't want that line there, but he needed to show the colorist where the differentiation was going to be. So yeah, very cool.
That's one side effect when you work this graphic, is that when the colorist gets the pages, sometimes they have a hard time understanding what you drew. Like it's the type of style that works best when you either have a very close relationship to your colorist or you color yourself, because sometimes you end up with something that looks weird. And like it happened again, Mignola is a good example for that. Like sometimes you look at Mignola's pages in black and white and you don't really understand what you're looking at. And he has at least one story where, I think it was in the French edition that I read this, where he chose a new editor based on the fact that the guy was willing to tell him on this particular Hellboy page we don't understand what this is. We don't understand what we're looking at. Like
That brutal honesty.
Yeah, there was an issue with the coloring, I think it was, or a rock that was not placed well or something like that. Of like, you we need to change this precisely because it doesn't translate the way you think it does.
Yeah, I think Mike Mignola was very close with Scott Ali, and similarly, like Darwyn Cooke was extremely close with Mark Chiarello. And I think earlier I was asking like how did this happen where like DC approved a Selena Kyle book, but he had a champion within the company. Like Mark Chiarello went to bat for him on these projects, and if there's anything sort of baffling, like how did this get approved or how did that get approved, it's more than likely like Mark Chiarello like fought for it.
I wanted to actually, when you get to this page, the yellows, when I was rereading it again, like when the yellows are introduced against the purples here, it looks very spontaneous, but at the same time calculated. Like it's all just the tone's communicated very well here on this page.
Yeah, such great atmosphere.
Yeah, atmosphere. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Eric.
So here we get like Parker references his time in the service, and I keep saying Parker. This guy's name is Stark, but like this is Parker. Because I haven't read the Parker novels, but I did a little bit of looking into it, and like the character Parker from the novels was in the army, from 42 to 44. So like. A lot of the groundwork is being laid to like really reinforce that this is basically Parker.
This version is a lot less, not a lot less, but he is notably less brutal though. The literary Parker there is no arc to that character.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stays a brutal SOB the whole time.
Yeah.
I read Quentin Tarantino basically said that like if you're familiar with the movie Heat, Robert De Niro's character is basically Parker, like down to his ethos of like if you see Heat coming around the corner, learn to run away. Like that is basically Parker.
Yeah,
that actually makes me really happy you told me that, Eric. I never made that connection, but yeah, like that makes me love it even more.
But see, at the end of Heat, though, I argue Heat is actually a love story, and the moment they have at the very end is like you would not get that in a Parker story.
That's interesting you say that because that's what Quentin Tarantino in that chapter that I read said the same thing. He basically said like he is Parker up until the last like Parker would not have done what De Niro's character did in the last like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
he would have done the opposite. So this scene is in the Detective Comics short stories. So that's how like they're linking it up. Which again, I thought this came out first, but really the Detective shorts came out first. So like you see like
this is a good example though of like publishing schedule doesn't necessarily mean that much, right? Like you can have her just show up like a femme fatale in a 40s noir in this. And if you happen to read the other story, you can find that again and make a connection yourself. But it doesn't matter that when it was printed originally.
Yeah, because like right here, which this just came out like October 2024, and like they printed in order of they printed in chronological sequence, not like print order. So like the Selena's Big Score is first, and then the detective stuff, and then the Catwoman stuff. Even though like that's not the publication order.
That panel with the blind shadows across her face. Can we just stare in awe for a second?
My god, yeah, it's just gorgeous.
Flip one more over.
The one after.
Oh, one after. Oh yeah.
Bam.
Yeah, I mean, trained graphic designer, basically. So.
Straight out.
Now take it away. Take it away.
It's too much good stuff.
That panel there, the one where she's sitting on the desk. Now you noticed on her legs, he does not quite complete the line from her knee down, like
yeah,
right there. like I just want to say to artists in general, like I've dealt with this sometimes where like when you're drawing something very spontaneously, or at least you're capturing the energy of it, and you don't complete a line in the inking process, I've run into it like 1,000 times. It's like I feel the need to complete the line, and it just all of a sudden it falls apart. So I want to encourage artists to like just take that on board here. Like that actually completes by being incomplete. It's complete. If that makes
Well,
sense.
and also I think this is something that Adam Hughes does in his work that I admire. Is like when you have like skin pressed up against skin, you
Right.
just
Yeah.
like don't connect the lines, because they're essentially things are merging, and that's not just skin, just like anything. Like when things are like pressed against each other, just like get rid of that connecting line, and they just have the illusion of merging. But also, the best advice I got when it comes to inking is just like be quick and confident. And so he was quickly, confidently throwing these lines down, and to add that extra line is like not part of that. To add that extra line is not part of the quick and confident. It's like going in there and noodling, right?
Mm.
Which everybody's different. I like to go in and noodle a bit. I like doing detailed work, but that's
How
not what
many
he's going
sound
through
effects
here.
does he? Sorry, how many sound effects does he actually letter in here?
Oh, I mean, apparently
No.
he did them all, right? If he's the
No,
letterer.
no, no. I mean, in terms of like how often does he use it in the whole story? How many
Good
explosions are there?
question.
Because there's that one. There's that one
Because there's
unwritten
not a lot of
rule.
action for most of it, I guess. So when there is action, it shows up. But
Yeah, they're pretty sparse.
yeah, not too much. I guess I guess he saves it, right?
Yeah,
For the big
it
moments, the
works
important
there
moments.
though, where we just saw that.
Sure,
Yeah.
it sets up what's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Something that bugged me about reading this is there is the occasional thing that dates it to 2002. Like
Go
there's a
on.
reference here to like skipping CDs. Yeah, right here. I hate to be skipping CD. And then the fact that email is new. And this is something I think about because I'm working on a sort of crisis events, and I want these to be timeless. And I was talking to Dennis about this. Like one of the things that makes something stick out is like phones. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you have like a phone from clearly that's the first iPhone, or clearly that's like the iPhone 5. But it's really tough because I don't want to draw a future phone. Like yeah, I don't know, but I get bugged by stuff like this where like this is timeless in so many ways,
Mm.
but every now and then you get a reference to a skipping CD, and that's something I encourage people to think about when
The kids are going back to CDs, man. They want to hear the music as it was originally meant to be heard. It's so much warmer than an MP3 or a stream.
yeah. So it goes from records to CDs to like it's just jumping all over the place. Skipping
Yeah.
like a CD, one might say.
Yeah, exactly. I actually did hear. I remember reading. It was a reference in the Incredible Hulk when they wanted it to feel, the director Louis Leterrier wanted it to feel timeless as well, and but they had to have cell phones, so he's like, you know what, we're going with old phones, and so he just gives everybody flip phones, despite the fact that it's coming out in 2008 when smartphones are available. But he figured like it reads like a phone, but it's not too fancy. If nobody has phones at some point in the future, they're not going to be watching this movie. So I'm not that concerned with it. I just go with like the most basic shape of what it is, rather than being concerned with the technical
Well, I mean,
aspect of it.
do you think it was successful then? Because flip phones, that's so 2000s. Like,
Is it? They're coming back. Colin has one.
what? Really?
His funny.
Well,
Colin, isn't yours flip open?
double
Oh,
screen.
I mean, we won't call that a flip phone.
But that's still, I don't know. That flips open, right? Like you never know how something's going to read going forward. At least it like, think of the Matrix, right? The thing comes down. It's like, oh yeah, I know what that is. That's a phone.
Yeah.
That's pages of beauty right there. The rain.
Oh yeah. I mean, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
Matt
pose
Hollingsworth.
of Slam Bradley.
Yeah, I want to see what the original art of this page looked like. Like, I want to figure out like who did that rain. Like, was that done on a separate piece of paper? Was that all Matt Hollingsworth?
It might be digital.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but I'm just wondering like who originated it. Like, it just seems like Darwyn Cooke is like has a full vision. Like he knew what he wanted that rain to look like, and I'm wondering if he provided like.
Yeah.
Is that the first trade you're looking at there, Juni?
I'm not exactly sure. It's
The
like
cover, I think, is of Catwoman #1, the Brubaker.
yeah,
cover. Yeah,
it's a compilation basically.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it like I suspect it like reprints all the same stuff that's in here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I did want to comment that it is cool. Every now and then we get reminded that this is a Catwoman story, so we get like the occasional Catwoman panel.
I love that the color choices for Batman and Catwoman are just a slight bit off. They're the same tonality of that page, but
Yeah,
they're just a little more popped for you to be like, oh, okay. This is an image that he holds in his head. No wonder he's upset that he yanks the stool out from underneath him. And it's kind of the most Batman you get of like Batman is almost haunting the memory of Stark more than.
Is that one of the only Batman images we get?
I think it might be the only, because the only other reference I can think of is that Slam Bradley thinks about how he when he's climbing the ladder up top, he's look at me, I'm crawling around like Batman or something like that.
Yeah.
But I really was expecting, a scene between the two of between Batman and Catwoman at some point in this end. I mean, kudos to them for just holding back in the most, what would sell something so easily. It would be so easy to put it in, and no, not going to happen.
Yeah, it's cool to have that restraint, especially like a lot of creators come in, they want to play with these toys. Like, I want to write Batman, I want to draw Batman, and like he's got a story to tell. He obviously wasn't thinking in those terms. This sequence is part of the Heist story formula. So, like right here, we get a plan presented to the audience. Like, we know exactly it's going to go down like this, and then like in the final act, things always go wrong. So this is things going wrong. And also Slam Bradley is another element where things will go wrong. So and really embracing that like Heist story formula.
Even though the colors are very like muted and flat and everything, he must have agonized over the palettes for every page, or every scene rather, right? Especially the transitions between flashbacks and stuff like that. Like, the overall tonality had to be consistent, even though he used antagonistic colors for the flashbacks and even like when they're planning and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, Matt Hollingsworth, I think he's one of the best in the industry.
Yeah.
Man, talk about graphic design. Like this as Slam Bradley like breaks into the building and attacks them. I think this is called Guns Akimbo, popularized by John Woo.
Good movie.
I haven't seen that movie, but
it's super fun.
Is that the origin of the term, though?
No. Guns, like Akimbo, is just out, right?
Yeah.
I would think that some critic used it to describe a John Woo film in the 80s.
Yeah, still cool even 10 years after, at this point, 10 years after the John Woo Hong Kong films.
Yeah.
What would be interesting to try out is looking at the colors on a color wheel, just to figure out the hues and values of it. Like, I'm looking at it mostly because I'm trying to figure out how he manages to get the moods down and how many colors he actually uses. Because every spread that I've seen so far, there's like 2 or 3, and then maybe a highlight.
Yeah. Very, like, I love these limited color palettes. I love Yeah, it's just like, because when you limit yourself, I guess you have to live and die by the choices. And if you throw 1,000 colors on there, I don't know, you can sort of hide behind a lot of the highlights and a lot of the effects and stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if he assigns colors to anybody, but it doesn't. Like I think of purple as a Catwoman / Selena color. Like it
Yeah.
is often thematically tied to her, but that's not super consistent throughout this. It's more applied to her, but there are plenty of instances where it's not, or it's applied to somebody else too.
Well, I've always heard that, like, in film, red is a signifier for danger, and so, like, this sequence is bathed in red because people are dying. So, yeah, a lot of consideration there. Actually, I wanted to page 55. Where is this? Yeah. I'm 50 years old, and that woman has me acting like that Nancy boy Batman. Like, talk about,
Nancy.
Someone's tough when they're calling Batman a Nancy boy.
He's walking around covering his face, wearing body armor. What a wuss.
Yeah.
And they do the last two panel different colors again. Like looking at the whole spread, the bottom right is a different color than the rest. Just
Yeah. And
then,
like, this is where he's headed towards. So it's kind of like a very cool storytelling where, like,
yeah,
we don't have to see him, like, arriving at the location, but we see him bathed in that red. We know he's there. It's just great storytelling.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to try out. It happens quite a bit.
Where he just punches to last a couple of panels with something.
Yeah, it doesn't happen all the time, but he has a
It's
bit
like
of
framing with orange there.
And I'm always curious how, like, again, this is something that only happens if you have full control of your, like, how the pages are going to be printed. But like in Dragon Ball, there's this trick where they explain that there's a rhythm to the panels and the events that happen on a spread. And it's all based on, in Japanese, it's called Kisho Tenketsu. And basically you have setup and then development and then sort of a twist or change of perspective or something. And then you have a conclusion, which in the case of a double spread leads to the next page.
Oh, okay. What's that called?
Kisho Tenketsu.
Oh, okay.
And so, like in Dragon Ball, like the guy, what's his name again? Sorry, give me just a second. Somewhere here, yeah. So the editor of Dragon Ball published this, and he explains how they made shonen manga, essentially, like on a structural level. He also talks about the business aspect of it, but I was mostly interested in the structural aspect of it. And I actually took notes and everything, but basically, where
I
is
did
it?
find a quick description of it, if that would be helpful.
So he has like pages like this in his book where he explains, like, this is how we make a chapter, basically. So he explains, so reversed. So this is key, like big panel, establishing everything, the characters, the setting, the time, or the time of day and everything. Then you have Master Roshi explaining what they're going to do, the stakes of the story. And then he starts the twist is basically this, where he showed them a rock and then just throws it away. So, an unexpected event. And then you get this panel, which is both the resolution, like a breather, and the link to the next spread, because you follow the rock and then now you want to know where it's going. And he explains that principle spread after spread on a whole chapter of Dragon Ball.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
The way that Cooke and Hollingsworth are using their colors on some of the pages, at least some of the spreads. And you have like entire moods, and then the last panel or two of the spread are a different color, a change essentially before you move on to the next one. So I'm wondering if, like, I wouldn't say I don't know that he knew about Kishotenketsu or anything, but it feels a little bit like there's a twist to it. Like it's sort of the same principle. Like it
Mhm.
had the same principle as well because there were strips. What he explained was that he would put Tintin in a sort of cliffhanger situation at the end of every strip because it forces you to go to the next one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Kishotenkit. That word, as a narrative structure, does not center conflict as part of its structure,
Yeah.
especially when compared to common Western narrative structures like the three-act structure in Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. This has led to the structure being popularly described as without conflict, although narratives created using Kishotenketsu, such as the 2019 South Korean film Parasite, can and often do contain conflict.
Yeah, I always use Miyazaki to explain. He can use the same structure and make Mononoke and Kiki's Delivery Service. We are not on the same level of conflict.
Yeah. Ooh, that's
Very
good.
cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look more into that. Okay.
You know,
So,
another thing about Toriyama, while Eric's flipping to the pages, I love how in his black and white work, especially with backgrounds and stuff, you can still kind of get a sense of color in it.
Yeah,
You know, you kind of fill it in yourself mentally.
he's another one who's very good at like cartoony and simple, but in a way where it's extremely easy to read. Like every time I have to do fight sequences, I look at how he does it because he directs your eye in a way that's honestly a little scary sometimes. Again, that book has examples of that as well, where he shows you a page and he's like, look at how the bolt of energy starts at it's manga, so it would be, sorry, let me just check. It would be top right. It would start at the top right. The bolt of energy starts at the top right of the page, follows Goku through to the next page, to the next panel, and just basically it follows the way that you have to read the page. It tells you how to read the page by just showing you the movements of the characters, and that's a trick that I try to use as much as I can. Like I'm not super good at it yet, at least not as good as he is. But
friend of the show, Louis Joyce, I told him that you were going to be on the show, and he told me you have to read Juni Ba's Ninja Turtles Annual 2022, and I hadn't. So like I got it on Kindle and read it last night, and yeah, I mean your action scenes are freaking amazing, and that comic is as like good as Louis Joyce said. Like he said it was one of his favorite Ninja Turtles stories ever, and he's a big Ninja Turtles guy.
yeah,
And
no,
I'm right there with him. That it was so well done.
that one was I was using what I call the Jackie Chan principle, as in one character against a bunch. Except
Okay.
it was one big guy against four turtles, and the logic for me was when you're watching Jackie Chan, because you identify with him as the main character, it's sort of like the stakes of, oh, he's alone against all those guys. But if you were identifying with one of the guys that he's fighting, you'd be like, he's alone and he's managing to like just dispatch everyone. Like fighting Jackie Chan in one of those movies must be scary as hell. That was sort of the idea of like, let's put a guy who just manages to dispatch them very easily for no particular reason, and that was the impetus of it. Like, there's a page I think where I have all turtles.
That's that's the page I was thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Jackie Chan reversed, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Very cool. Everybody make sure to pick up, if you can find it, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Annual 2022.
Yeah, very emotional story too.
Yeah, it'll kick your heart in the ass, but in the best way.
And speaking of emotional scenes, I love this sequence here. It's just a great way of showing like an intimate scene. I think from the reader's point of view, Selena and Stark are turned away from us, and they're kind of backlit, or no, I guess they're just in the dark. And this just gives us a feeling that we're spying on something deeply personal, something private, something we shouldn't be hearing this. And it's just such a great way of staging and like communicating to us that this is like a deeply personal moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it really helps communicate that this is probably the most vulnerable Stark is going to be here in this story, because he doesn't think he needs to be putting on any kind of front.
Yeah, and he's like almost monosyllabic, almost.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, we're good.
I love how the
Yes.
singular light source is coming from the right, and it so you can see Stark's hair, and everything else is in silhouette perfectly.
Yeah.
That works so well. I mean, the character design overall for all these characters, if you just cut out their silhouettes, of Stark and Selena and all them, like you'd recognize them instantly. And in this
case, I mean, so good. Look at this.
Yeah.
These Selena silhouettes are perfect. But like all of this stuff is intentional. Like all these storytelling choices are not accidental. They're deliberately thought out. And every now and then you get like, you can see like people questioning like, why is he so revered? Like what's the big deal with Darwyn Cooke? And a lot of it comes down to all this stuff, like the storytelling, the design, just like he's just a perfect comics craftsman.
I would say just read it and then you'll know.
So is this year one Catwoman? Is this Mazzucchelli Catwoman?
It sure looks like it, right?
Kelly.
Mazzucchelli.
That's what I took it as, because she's definitely in her dominatrix sex worker phase just before this that we see in year one. Check out our year one episode. And we should say that like the first time that she's really executing on the Catwoman idea, right?
Yeah, and we should say that like Stark is kind of a mentor figure to her. Like I guess this takes place probably prior to her becoming Catwoman. Like in fact, this is the Mazzucchelli outfit, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he put so much thought into her as a character, and just turning her into a complex character and someone that we really appreciate. This is interesting because like the backstory is slowly unraveling, and she betrayed her mentor figure here, and yet they're going to work again together.
Yeah, there'd been references in dialogue to whatever happened between them for two issues or 1.5 issues, and then when you see what it is, that she was supposed to be the wheelman and just was like, no, I'm taking them diamonds.
Yeah.
Time heals all wounds.
So from here we go into book 4, and then it moves on to double page spreads, which I guess gives the feeling of like, because the entire book has been single pages, and so when we reach this point, it just gives the feeling, oh, this is the climax. This is everything's been leading up to.
I feel dumb.
It's very effective.
And it feels like,
and
it
dumb
feels
for
like
asking what?
time has slowed down.
Before about there shouldn't be.
Oh yeah.
Now, as soon as you flip to this, I'm like, you idiot.
I do confess though, I read this past week in the compact edition, and these double page spreads I did find a little confusing.
That's the problem with glue bound.
Yeah. Where is this?
Juni, what do you think of these compact comics? Because just to preface it, I think they're fantastic, and I hope they sell millions.
And they are selling really well, from what I hear.
I don't have any yet, but that's more a matter of like I haven't really found things that I want to buy. But I guess I like that format better. It might also be that I'm biased by the fact that I spent my entire teenage years reading manga. So
it doesn't feel special at all, right? It's still like, that's what comics are.
That's a natural format for comics for me, basically.
Right.
That makes sense. Whereas here, it's just like, wow, why didn't they think of this sooner? This is amazing.
Because here in North America, as we all know, bigger equals better. Yes?
Colors as well. Like
Especially in all things food related, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, this, I think double page spreads exist best in floppy comics with a
Yeah.
like stapled comics where like the comic can lay flat. But Selina's Big Score, like this is the original version. The original version was in a graphic novel. So these double page spreads have probably never experienced like how I think they should be, with either like stapled or with like sewn binding. For a little while there, I was thinking like, should I still be doing double page spreads? Because like these comics, like they live on in trade, where like the gutter kind of like eats up part of the story. But I mean, that's a me problem. Like most people don't think about stuff like that.
Well, we're going to make it an audience problem. Audience, make sure that you buy enough of the trades to justify a hardcover edition that Eric can make sure is bound perfectly for his
Stone bound.
2-page spreads, because you'll want to see those spreads in that in the format that he meant you to read it in.
Yeah, like like let me just show one example. Like I think this comic I drew, I think this looks great laid flat, and the trade is coming out in a couple weeks, and I am going to be so sad looking at this double page sequence.
That middle column will probably be swallowed up on the bottom panel. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Just
like
make
part of this is going to be part of this is going to be eaten up, which is probably like my fault. I probably should have like shifted that over a bit. I will say that like Darwyn Cooke has clearly thought about stuff like this, and like he doesn't put a ton of like important information. He doesn't put much in that center area.
You know what? Off topic again, but Juni, do you read Berserk?
No.
Okay.
Really?
So in volume 38 or 39, one of the volumes, it's basically a double page spread of Guts, the main character. His head is right in the middle of the panel. And when you open it flat, it's like it looks all squished and like sucked in.
Drives me
I don't
mad.
know why Fiora did that, but it's there forever. So
was that one of the early volumes?
This is the later volume. So 38, 39, maybe 40.
He should have known not to do that.
Yeah, but he did it. I'll find it and I'll throw it up. Actually, Eric, throw it up right now.
So this is the other page I could find of the. Let me show on stream. This is the other piece of original art. The only other piece of original art I could find.
Yeah.
Oh, that's real nice.
It's one of my favorites of the book.
Wow.
Look at this. This is a sticky note right here. So the person was kind enough to show. I guess so. We get to see the lettering here, and I guess he redrew.
He didn't even draw anything under it though. Like when it's lifted up.
Yeah, I don't know what's. Well, he drew something and then scribbled all over it.
Yeah.
He abandoned what he drew there. It's nothing. It's not like if you go back to the actual flat sticky note. Yeah, zoom in on that. That is not the same as the arches in the blue line underneath the sticky note.
He must have like.
So he abandoned it.
Couldn't have gotten it, and then thought, you know what? I'll come back to this later.
Oh, it's fun to see this stuff because we have this crack at the bottom. I guess he's like testing stuff out, or because I don't know. I don't think he put that. Oh, hold on. Yeah, the crack. It looks like in the final one he moved this crack right here. So that's interesting. Maybe it's just sort of like he picked it up as a layer and then put it on there in Photoshop. In interviews, he basically learned computers in the early 90s. He had to for his graphic design company, and he said he was so grateful because a lot of other people his age, got to 40 or whatever, and they, that's when Photoshop was taking off in the industry, and it was just too infuriating for them. So yeah, he was grateful that he learned it early on. And I mean, it looks like he was doing a bit of Photoshop work, because like, again, like we see there's no word balloon there, but it was under the sticky note. So he clearly, scanned it in, and we get it there. So he's clearly playing with layers before giving it to. I assume he's playing with the layers before he's giving it to Matt Hollingsworth. Yeah. Around that time, a lot of artists were still mailing their art in, and like somebody in like production would do the scanning. But I'm not sure where he was on that front.
Well, he seems pretty in control of this whole thing, though. So, and if he's one of the few guys that in 2002 knows how to do this, he's probably doing it himself.
Yeah. I would buy that, considering how much of a visionary he is. He's got a clear vision, and if you have a clear vision, you don't want that many other people putting their hands on it, muddying it up. So right here we get the climax, and I'm going to speculate that Darwyn Cooke thought this is how Parker should die. Like, he's a big fan of the novels, and if Parker is going to die, he's going to die over in the middle of a heist, right?
Oh yeah, glory,
with a beautiful woman holding him.
Yeah,
and it is nice because we get he never revealed his first name, so we get he finally reveals, to Catwoman, my name is James.
A very un-Parker move, though.
Or maybe it's very Parker-like if he knows he's going to die.
Maybe.
Because Parker, I guess, is about survival, I think, and it's just like, well, okay, you don't have to survive anymore. Just reveal your name.
Yeah, could be.
And we get a quiet denouement scene there. I threw in some French. Juni, was it any good?
Yes.
So whenever I come across this storytelling technique, I highlight it because it's one of my favorite things that a writer can do. This is a great example of visual storytelling contradicting something a character has said. She's asked here, did you love him? And she says, I don't know the meaning of the word. But then we look on this page and we're supposed to come to our own conclusion based on the visuals. And this is the kind of thing that involves the reader more. She's not declaratively saying I loved him as she's him into the water. We just get to see her reaction. And it's just such a good writing technique. Something that reveals character, the best way to reveal character.
I love the tilted camera angle in the last panel there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just beautiful with the bubbles.
Yeah.
And it's just such an emotional scene. Just so few lines. Her mouth is just a blob of ink, but it's just perfect.
You also notice the dock, the diagonal lines of the dock actually lend to the horizontal, or excuse me, the tilted angle of the last panel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
everything's
expert craftsmanship.
He's real good at this, guys. He's real good at making these books.
Very much so. So, overall, highly recommended graphic novel. You can find it in multiple versions. And yeah, I do recommend, despite I did have some problems with the double page spreads, but overall, I highly recommend this. In Canada, it cost me $11. If you're in the States, it'll cost you $10. Pick it up.
No, so they're just giving these away.
Yeah. To speak to the DC compact books, they're very well put together. The paper is great. You can open them pretty much flat. They're durable. I can't say enough good things about them.
And if they fall apart, it's it was $10. Who cares?
Well,
freedom. What I'm saying is, be rough with them. Put them in your pocket.
Yeah, 100%. If you're traveling, this is the perfect book. My wife's read 2 or 3 of these already. So yeah,
nice.
Okay, so yeah, I hope we can do more Darwyn Cooke videos in the future. I definitely want to cover Batman Ego, and we definitely do need to do New Frontier. And like Juni, you have to come on to the New Frontier episode because it sounds like you have put a lot of thought into it.
Awesome.
Too much, maybe. I don't know how long it takes normally to read New Frontier. It takes me 5 hours.
That's what we're looking for, man. Hell yeah. Too much thought. That's what this whole show is.
100%. So we're all artists. What is I just want to briefly talk about like what everybody's been up to as an artist this past week. Taylor, what or actually let's go Colin,
I'll go first. So I had a couple of botched attempts at doing a Catwoman drawing. I had her falling in free fall. I did one of her leaning over, not leaning over a building, but like as if you were leaning on a counter. You had your elbows up on like over a building, and it just didn't come together for me. So I ended up trying to instead just kind of dissect. I don't think the flat, not cartoony, but the graphic style does not work for me. I feel like I always need to hatch. I think cross hatching is my thing, but I did just a bust of Selena there. I kind of botched the nose.
Very cool.
You guys can see that. And I think I need to go more the other way. Like Barry Windsor Smith, Mark Silvestri, those guys are like my Mount Rushmore overall for American comics. Anyway, I'm really into French comics too. And actually, I was going to pick your brain a little bit, Juni, later after we're finished this episode. But in any case, I mean, at least I'm still producing. That's been a goal of mine, is just to at least have something ready for every episode.
That's right.
One foot in front of the other.
Done is better than nothing, and good is
that's the same, right?
Yeah, something like that. I have been doing two things this week. I've been frantically trying to get the fixes for the Mad Cave submission that Eric was kind enough to tear apart for me. It's not going well, but I've learned a lot. So at least I've got which I'm grateful for, and it's and then I've got this. I was gonna do I was gonna do a Catwoman thing, but then I thought she's not Catwoman in this. So, trying to go with a Zoe Kravitz look because she is my favorite. Green.
What made you do the street lines there? This with your watercolors, you do a little bit of a streak effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It's like layering. I did a flat wash or a gradiated wash, top to bottom, and then painstakingly waiting for it to dry, just doing like building up layers of fine lines.
Did you pencil it that way first, or did you just go for it?
No, it's all freehand. I'm trying to get better at freehand. One of the things that I picked up from the critique Eric gave me is let's just fucking go for it.
Spontaneity is what makes you immortal.
Yeah, yeah.
Capture that energy.
Of all, I mean, honestly, all the episodes that we've been doing this month have really hammered home for me. Loosen the fuck up.
Yeah.
God.
Detachment. You got it back.
Yeah. So that's what I've been working on. Juni, how about you? What are you working on?
We didn't reach out to you early enough to ask for you to do something for the show, but if you got any artwork that you're working on right now, if you want.
Well, I know you're in full promotion mode for the monkey meat trade, right?
Yeah, I guess so. That's the last release that I had, I guess. The other stuff is stuff that I can't show. Otherwise, the ninjas of various companies are going to come for me.
So keep your eyes out.
Yeah. So basically, like the big focus for me this year was the publication of Monkey Meat. After the publication of Monkey Meat, I just spent 2025 trying to do as little work as I could.
Right on.
also a short story here and there, or covers and stuff like that, like short things.
You've been working nonstop for like what, 6 years, 7 years?
For
Just like producing pages, right?
yeah, like I signed Julia in 2029, towards the end of 2019, and yeah, I just made like big comics back to back, like 150 pages.
Are they going to reprint Julia at all?
Oh my god, that's a kind of worms. That's a whole situation right there. I have no idea. But yeah, so having made a bunch of books, a bunch of like short stories and covers and stuff in 4 years, I decided, when you're going to use 2025 to sort of like calm down a little bit. The big joke that all my friends make is how that was a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything that I drew this year was mostly for work. So it's stuff that I can't show yet. It's either stuff that ended up coming out, like the Steel story, California Love, I think it was called, the DC.
Right. Yeah.
And then stuff for projects for later. So I'm working on the next batch of Monkey Meat, which is going to be a lot more cohesive than previous batches.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want this one to sort of revolve around what I described as cultural alienation, because I grew up in Senegal, and I get this sense of this is a place that was built, the infrastructure. When the independence happened, the infrastructure you had wasn't built for Senegalese interest; it was built for French interest. Culturally speaking, there's a bunch of stuff that happened in just 200 years in Senegal. Religion, culture, and all those things evolved a lot. So I don't know. I was inspired. Like, let's make stories that revolve around chasing after the Western ideal, because that's what you were told you should thrive for, while having your own culture, which sort of sits at a crossroads at this point. So yeah, I haven't drawn much this year. I've done a lot of reading.
Holy shit, I can't wait to read that, though. That sounds fucking awesome.
But it's very rejuvenating, I'd imagine, to take a bit of a break.
Like, if there's one advice that I will give anyone is don't forget to carve out time for you to replenish your inspiration, I guess. Like,
yeah, it's all about intake and out, or taking in art and outputting art, input and output, I guess.
Yeah,
art.
Basically, like a lot of the stuff for me, like, a lot of the goal of doing less this year was having time to read more and find new ideas, and even stuff that I didn't even think about initially. Like, there's a bunch of books that I read, movies I watched, just carving out time, and also just having a life, basically. Going out and
that's very difficult for a comic artist. You were able to have a life. What's that like?
Well, we were talking about the TMNT annual that I did. The one memory I have of working on it, I drew pages in a bar. Like, I was hanging out with my friends and drawing pages there. Like, the Mobilis was the same way. I drew the whole thing in 3 months because I was going out and drawing there.
Right. Nice.
I went back to paper, so now I can't do it anymore. But at the time when I was doing everything on tablets, it was just like I was working all the time while having a social life and just having the two together.
Here's my cat.
Hi.
Juni, then in the next 6 months, in terms of 1, con appearances, 2, commissions and stuff, like, what are you overall? What's your main focus? I know you got a couple of books that you can't talk about, so I'm just trying to steer.
Yeah. So I have a few French signings for Boy Wonder. But really right now the main focus is I finished the Kickstarter rewards that I was supposed to do. What is left? Honestly, I'm waiting on a pitch, basically. I'm waiting on a pitch, and I'm waiting to hear. From what I hear is exciting to the editors, so now we'll see where it goes. there's a whole green-lighting process. But if that happens, I get back into full work mode towards the end of the year.
Are
And
you taking on commissions now?
I don't do commissions.
Oh, okay.
Not
Good
yet.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to. It's more a matter of like
Have you
finding time and...
have you ever been to
Yeah,
American
not-
conventions?
No, I've never been to the US.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I've
well,
been-
don't go now.
Well, yeah. I don't know. So no, I don't do commissions. It's not that I don't want to. Actually, I want to. It's more about finding the time, and we'll see. We'll find maybe next year.
How can people, like social media wise, do you want to plug your Instagram and all that stuff? How can people get a hold of you? What's the best
Yeah.
way?
So yeah, Instagram is the best way. I actually just received a message from someone asking me how to send pictures. So Instagram is a good way. Like that's mostly where I post. That's also where you can reach me fairly easily. Sometimes I will take a few days to realize you texted me. But, yeah, so Instagram is the best way, and it's just my name, like Juni.Ba, I think. And there's the newsletter that I have on my website. Again, you just tap my name on Google, and the website is juniba.fr. The newsletter is on there. That's probably the best way to sort of like keep up to date on what I have coming out, conventions and signings, and stuff like that.
Rad.
Very cool.
Editors, don't leave us hanging. Green light that pitch.
What about you, Eric?
As usual, I'm just like working on assorted crisis events. So yeah, I just got a new script from Dennis, and so
Right on.
we're doing a little bit of back and forth on like what the visual intent of the issue will be, and I'm also compiling a lot of inspiration images because this might surprise you, but there's going to be some wild storytelling going on in this issue I'm working on.
Whoa,
So,
what?
yeah, I'm trying to find something along those lines. I guess if anybody is watching this in the future, it is the one I'm working on right now is called In the Gutters. So, but
yes.
but yeah, not much else to report other than that. It is comics is all consuming, so that's basically all I'm working on top of reading comics as well. So yeah, so I guess we can close it out.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Check out The Boy Wonder. That's my personal favorite, so I'm going to keep harping on you. And we'll see you next time.
Cool.